Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the next element of that financial accounting global settings, which is known as the posting period variant. So this was the question that we had in our last session. Can one company code have multiple fiscal years variants? So the answer is no, because one company code can only have one fiscal year variant. Otherwise, it will create the data inconsistency issues. And if we take the relation of like fiscal year variant to the company code, then one fiscal year variant can be assigned to multiple company code. So in simple language, the relation of company code to the fiscal year is fiscal year variant is 1 to 1, and the relation of fiscal year variant to the company code is 1 to n. Now in the today's session we are going to see what to be like mean by this posting period variant, what is the definition of it, and then we will see what is the purpose and what is the need of creating this posting period variant in the system, and what is the significance of creating it. And further we will see the open and close periods, how do we do it, like how the screen of this open and close periods look like, and what are the things we put in. And then there is another important thing within these opening and closing periods in itself, the account types. Like with respect to the account type, we can restrict the periods. Like we have the different type of account types like GL, customer, vendor, asset, material, and the like other also. So this is how we are going to see how we can control these opening and closing periods with respect to account type. So let's start with our main content. Posting period variant. So in our last session, our theoretical session, we saw the fiscal year variant. So in that what we created, we need actually variant for our fiscal year. Similarly, to control or open or close the posting periods, we need the variant in the SAP. So to define it, we can simply say it is a variant which actually controls which periods are open and which are closed. Okay. And these periods are open and closed for the financial accountings. And what it does actually, if we see the granular picture of this posting period variant, so what happens actually, let me write it what it does. It actually controls the periods opening and closing for any import and the account type. So what does it mean? Using this posting period variant, you can control which periods should be open or should be closed for any company code or for the like which account type. So this is what you can do using the posting period variant. Okay. There are some important points which you have to remember related to the posting period variant. So I'm mentioning there are some important points which you should remember it. Okay. So the first one is, first of all, we should know how it is like look like in SAP. So technically we can say it is a four character alphanumeric key. It means it can be of four character length, and it can be all alphabet only or also the numbers. Okay. Or it can also be a mix of alphanumeric. So ideally the alphanumeric combination is the best. And the next point which we should keep it in our mind, it is actually defined at client level. So in our previous session, I have told you multiple times what does it mean if something is defined at the client level. So it simply means it can be assigned to multiple entities or the company codes. Okay. So this is defined at the client level. So any company code can utilize the this particular posting period, whatever you are creating in your system. Now moving further, why actually we need these closing and the opening of the posting period and ultimately the posting period variant. So the most important part or the role it plays is it actually ensures posting to correct counting period. So thereby maintains the audit compliance. So if your periods are closed, like unintended periods are closed, then it will protect you from posting in those periods. Or if you want any particular period to be posted in, then you can open that particular posting period. So it will ensure the posting are going to the intended or the correct period. And another important thing I would like to firstly ask you, suppose if any period be closed it in FI, can any posting be done? So the answer is simply no. Okay. So we can mention no posting can be done related to this financial accounting if period is closed. So these are the thing you have to remember. Okay. Always it would be a four character alphanumeric key and it is defined at the client level. So any entity or the company code can utilize it. And then it ensures the posting to the intended accounting period. And then no posting can be done if your period is closed. Now in SAP, how do we go to that particular screen to define the posting period variant? So we have also discussed the same part in our previous sessions. We are having two things. The one is path and the another is T code. So firstly, I will show you the path. So to open any of the path, what is the first T code we give? It is SPRO. And then we have reference IMG. And then we have financial accounting. And we all are creating these settings under the financial accounting global settings. Financial accounting global settings. And further, we have ledgers. And then we have fiscal year and posting periods. So up to here, the same path we are following to create the fiscal year. And further, you have to go to the like posting periods. And then we have define variant for open posting periods. Okay. So this is the path. First of all, we have to go to SPRO, then reference IMG, then financial accounting global settings, ledgers, fiscal year and the posting periods, define variants for open posting periods. Now, apart from this, we have the T code. As I already told you, the T code is, let me mention here. So the T code to define posting period variant is OBBO. You can simply say the OBBO. So after creation of any of these variant, we actually have to integrate it with the entity. For example, which entity would be using it. So in SAP term or in SAP language, we call it assignment of the variant of, for example, this posting period to the company code. Okay. So let me mention for assignment we are having the path. So actually path is very much same up to posting periods. So let me copy it. So up to this posting period we have like same path, and after that once you click on the posting periods, then you have to click on assign variants for open posting periods. Okay. So once you are done with the creation of this variant, posting period variant, and assignment of it to the company code, now under this particular variant, we need to create the periods. Okay. So let me mention it. We need to create periods under variant for various account types. Okay. So to create the period under the variant, we also have the path in the T code. So the path to create it is that we mentioned. It is also completely same up to the posting periods. So let me copy it. Posting periods. Okay. And then we have to give this, and then we have to give open and close posting periods. Okay. So once you come on this path, you will be able to define the periods. Okay. So next, as I told you, for each path, whatever we have mentioned here, we are also having the T codes. So the T code to define the periods or open or close the periods is OB52. So in real time project, you will be often using this particular T code. So remember it, okay? And I am telling you one additional thing. Suppose there are some periods which are like closed and you have to open it. So in that case, we can use the program also apart from using this T code. There is a one program I'm giving you RF OB5200. Okay, so this program you can use to open the posting period, and this is done using the T code SE38. Okay, so that was the additional thing. So now what happens once you go to this T code or using the path to open and close posting period, there will be one screen which will be coming up. Okay, so I want to show you how it will look like. Okay, so let me mention it, how the screen of that OB52 would be looking like. Okay, so the first column would be A. Okay, and then you will see from account. I'm mentioning the entire screen, how it will appear. The account, and then we have the to account. I'm writing in short only. And then we have this from period one, and then we have year, and then we have the period two, or it is two period two, and then again the year. Okay, so let me reset it. Okay, so this is how it will appear. And further, we have one another important field or the column we can say, which is AUGR. And then we have the from period two, then we have here, okay, and then to period two, and then year, and then next we have from period three, followed by year, and then to period three, and followed by year. Okay, so let me correct it. So this is how it will be appearing in the SAP. Once you open this OB52, it will be appearing like this. Now let me put it in a table form. And let me give the some color also. Okay, so this is how it will be looking like in SAP. Now what does this A means? Okay, so here A represents actually the account type. Okay, so what are the account type? Here in this particular screen on SAP, first of all, we can see there is a one plus account type. So plus account type actually represents, it is not aloneness. Okay, let me put something. So we have plus icon which represents all account type. So it is actually mandatory. You have to remember, okay, while you are defining or creating this period. So account type plus is mandatory. Now coming next, we have like A account type, and then we have account type as T, we have account type as K, we have account type as M, we have account type as S. So there are multiple account type. These are the commonly used or the standard account type available in SAP. So A represents assets account type, and D represents customers, K represents vendors, and then M represents material, and then S represents GL account. So these are the some of the important GL, some of the important account type. Now here I'm just briefing you while we are doing practical in the system. I will explain you these things in detail. So from account to account, you can mention the range of that account type. For example, number range of that account type. If you want to restrict for like particular account type, you can mention the range. Otherwise, we can give, for example, 0 to ZZZ if we want to keep it wide open or applicable for all the account types. But you have to remember for the plus, if you are giving plus, there is no need to mention these upper or the lower limit or the account. Okay. So after that, we have to give these period one to period two. So these four column represents the interval one, which represents your regular period. Okay. So in the fiscal year variant, we saw we have to define the periods which are regular, and there are some other periods which are special. So these four column represents the regular periods. Okay, so you have to mention which period or from which period to which period you want uh, like it to be open. So you can mention like suppose I want the January or the first period if we are following the calendar here. So I want the January to be open only. So I will give one here as a period year 2026, and two period I will give one only the Jan same, and then 2026. If I want January and February both to be open, the first and second period to be open, I will give one, and then I will give 2026 year, and then the period I will give two and the year 2026. Now next comes the authorization. Okay, so authorization group, AUGR represents authorization group, which is very much significant. You can restrict the access of changing or modifying these posting periods to particular individuals, or you can mention like you can give the access to like group of people, only certain set of people. So you can create the authorization group of those people and then mention the authorization group naming whatever you have given. Okay, and next comes the from period to year to period to year. So these four column represents interval two. Okay. So let me mention from period two, from period two to period two. Okay. So remember this. Don't be confused. So these actually represents the special special periods. So for what we need these special periods? These special periods are needed for the year-end adjustment. Year-end adjustment means, for example, if your particular year is closed, let's suppose like 2025 is already closed, but you want the adjustment posting related to accrual or the other expenses which we could not book, then those postings are done in the special periods. Okay, not in the regular period, because your year is already closed, then you need the special periods to post those entries. And remember this, while you are posting to these special periods, you have to manually put the the period you are posting to. Okay, so usually these special period are four. Okay, and then apart from this, these periods mostly would be looking like 13 to 16 if we are following a complete calendar year. So that year would be having like 1 to 12 as a regular period, and then 13 to 16 as a special period if you are giving these four special periods. So up to four you can define it. So this is how it will look like. And apart from that, let me mention some points in the form of pointers regarding the special period itself. So you can remember these points. So what are the point I have already mentioned? Just I'm writing it for your reference. Okay. So usually what happens in real time, only few users have authorization to post into a special period. Okay. So like auditing team or some specific users would be having access because these are not the regular postings. These are some special posting related to adjustment or the audit purposes. So that is why the access is restricted to some particular individuals only. Okay. And then what will happen, another thing is like while you are doing the posting date should in fall in last period of previous, okay, or we can simply say the closed fiscal year, because if you are doing the posting in the special period, so it will not be like looking like it is going to the 13th month. Okay, so ideally you are doing the posting in the special period, which is 13, 14, 15, 16, but the real posting date would be falling in the last period of previous fiscal year or the closed fiscal year. Okay. And then there is another point regarding these special periods. You have to remember, which I have already told you, which you have to manually enter the special period by posting. And then next, normal user going to be able to see the option of voting period manually. Okay, so we can also restrict the manual putting of this period by any normal user to prevent any unnecessary special posting or the posting to the special period. So we can do this way only. So only the authorized persons would be able to see that option of giving it manually. Okay. And another important thing I would like to mention, but before that, let us discuss about this period 3 year to period 3 year. Okay, so these four particular column are used for fi, sorry, co, co to fi reconciliation. So what do we mean by COFI reconciliation? So what happens is, for example, you are done with the closing, okay, of any particular period. Let's suppose for Jan we already completed our closing. But what happens once you are booking your cost? So generally during the month we post the expenses to one particular cost center. Okay, but after closing we have to do the allocation of that cost to the original cost center. So in that case, in SAP, we run that assessment cycle or the distribution cycle. So what happens while you are running those functionality in SAP, there are documents generated related to CO, and other than like the generation of CO document, there are also FI document gets created. Okay. So those documents of FI created automatically from CO only, and these are directly flown to FI. So this part is known as the CO to FI reconciliation. So what happens? Suppose now, usually what happens like January month is completed and you are on the first Feb. Now you are running those SAP, those assessment and the distribution cycles. So what is happening if you kept it blank and your period, like if you closed your first of Jan period and here you open that to 2026 to 2026. So it means your second period is open and the first one is closed. So while you are running that assessment cycle or the distribution cycle, the entry to FI would fail. Okay, because it will give you the reason. the period is blocked for posting. So for those particular posting from CO to FI, you can specifically mention like one period one representing January 2026, 1 and 2026. So what it will see, the system will check these periods related to CO. These are already open, so it will allow posting despite this particular period being closed. So here it will show first is closed, but using this you can still allow the posting related to like CO, the posting which are coming from CO to FI. So this is the significance of this particular four columns. If you see the older version of SAP like SAP ECC, mostly it is missing, but in the S4HANA or the recent versions, you will see these four columns added specifically for COFI reconciliation part. And apart from that, you can simply like get multiple error while you are doing the posting. The period is closed, you get the error in the real time like posting period, which will it will show the month and the year is not open, and sometimes it shows posting only possible in this particular period of year. So this is how you get the errors. And let's now come to our question section, which I want you to give the answer in the comment section of the second one. So first one I will write question one. So our the first question is, we have already discussed, can one company code have more than one posting period variant? So the answer is, where is the question mark? So the answer is no. One company code can only have the single posting period variant, and one posting period variant can be assigned to multiple company code. So simply we can say multiple company code can have the same posting period variant. Now coming to the question number two, which I want you to give the answer in the comment section, like during closing, which periods are open? So this particular part I have already shown you or told you which periods are actually open or which periods are closed while you are performing the closing of the month end. That's all for today. Thank you. We will meet in the next session doing the end-to-end configuration of the posting period variant and discussing each thing in detail. Thank you.